Defense agents have no place in Zenless, but it's not their fault. What's up, guys? It's Flossin, and today I want to talk about a topic that's been on my mind for quite a while now: the state of defense agents in Zenless Zone Zero. So recently, I watched a video posted by Average Luck Gamer, and in that video, he was talking about stun agents and how they don't feel like a necessity in the game as time has gone on in Zenless. And to be honest, I can kind of agree with it. But watching that video made me think of something else. I feel like defense agents are in an even worse spot. They feel like weaker versions of stunners, and with new characters like Trigger and Pulchra arriving soon, I really don't see a benefit to running a defense agent in the game. And that got me really thinking, although defense agents have different mechanics compared to stun, do they really have a reason to be in this game? Like, every time I sit down and think of what they actually bring to a team, I sort of come up empty. So today, we're going to talk about defense agents, why I feel like they're fundamentally flawed in Zenless, and if there's any hope for this class moving forward. If you find this video informative or just enjoy it, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It's completely free and lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. Now, with formalities out of the way, let's talk games. So, let's talk about defense agents. Like I said earlier, I genuinely believe that defense is a role that's flawed. Not because the characters themselves are bad, but because the game itself doesn't need them. Now, before people start typing, I've cleared every bit of content with Ben Bigger, I'm not saying that defense agents aren't viable. You can clear content with them just fine. What I'm arguing here is their identity in the game. Let me break it down. When you put an anomaly agent on your team, you know exactly what you're getting from that agent. Someone who fills the anomaly bar and triggers an effect based off of their element. Whether that's Jane being on field or Bernice off field, they serve a clear purpose. Now, let's look at stun agents. When you add one to the team, you know you're getting an agent that's focused on increasing the stun gauge. Sure, some stunners work faster than others, and some might provide different or extra buffs, but their core job is still the same: to set up the stun window. Same thing with support agents. When you add one to the team, you know you're either getting buffs for your allies or debuffs towards the enemy. But when I look at defensive agents, I honestly just feel confused. They can provide buffs like supports, they can sort of increase the stun gauge like stunners, and they can even do damage like attackers. And yeah, I get it, maybe that's their gimmick. They can do a little bit of everything while also providing a shield. But here's my problem. Where's the trade-off for running a defense agent? I'll use Ben for this example. At M6, he can buff the team, deal damage, and increase the stun gauge. That sounds great on paper, but would I rather have one character doing a little bit of everything, or a dedicated DPS, a dedicated stunner, and a dedicated support? That's where defense agents start to fall apart in my eyes. Zenless is a 3-man team game. And when you look at it as a whole, you don't have a lot of room for a character that just does okay at everything. And at its core, I don't understand what this class is trying to do, because everything about their design is built around shields. But in a game like Zenless, shields just aren't necessary. Think about it, whether you're doing Shiyu defense, deadly assault, or any standard content, everything is more like a race against time. So because I'm battling the clock most of the time, why would I waste a character slot on shields when I can just dodge? Again, I'm not saying defense agents are bad. I know they're viable, and I know you can clear content with them. I'm just questioning the identity of this role. To me, personally, defense should mean protecting the team, but when we don't need protection, that's when this identity kind of falls apart. And that leads me to something that really concerns me moving forward. Yo, so it's post-edit Flossin. I'm going through gathering footage for this video, and I ran across these descriptions that you can actually read on the agents in the game. And I want to give you even more reasoning as to why this class feels so bad, man. I'm just gonna read a couple. The attack one says, agents with the attack specialty possess formidable damage output capabilities, excelling at rapidly racking up damage directly through attacks to defeat enemies. The stun one says, agents with the stun specialty possess powerful control abilities, excelling at building up days to cause enemies to be stunned. And then you go to the defense one, and it says, Agents with the defense specialty have strong survivability, excelling at tanking attacks to counterattack and seize the upper hand for their side in the heat of battle. But bro, what do I need defending against in this game? There's nothing that can kill me. Anyway, sorry for the ramble, back to the video. I want to talk about Caesar King. I genuinely think this agent ruined the defense class, and any future defense agent that comes out. Why, you might ask? Mostly because of her shield. Now, I'm sure most of you know, Caesar's shield doesn't just buff attack, it also gives you complete anti-interruption. That means as long as the shield is up, whether it's barely been touched or it's hanging on by a thread, you can't be knocked around by enemy attacks. Now, this sounds pretty nice on paper, but Zenless is a game that's built on dodging. You're supposed to be weaving through attacks, timing your dodges, and keeping up with the flow of combat. But right now, we have an agent that just completely ignores that mechanic entirely. To me, this feels like HSR, where Firefly can just implant weaknesses so you never have to worry about any enemy you're fighting. It just bypasses the core game mechanics. Now, I know having this shield in this game isn't that game breaking. The game's pretty easy to clear after all. And I don't think that Caesar is really a problem, but what worries me is what comes after Caesar. Caesar has basically set the new standard for defense agents. If a new one comes out, everybody's gonna compare that one to Caesar. This means that any future defense agent has to either A, provide an invulnerability shield, or B, have a mechanic that's just as strong as being invincible. And can somebody tell me what's better than being completely invulnerable in a fighting game? Exactly. This to me is where power creep starts to creep in. And in a gacha game, that's always a slippery slope. And the more I think about it, the more I wonder, can defense agents even be salvaged at this point? Right now, the role feels lost, and it doesn't feel like putting a defense agent on my team is actually worth it, outside of maybe being a comfort pick. I think for defense agents to even feel viable, modes like Disputed Node would have to make an appearance again, or enemy mechanics would have to change. Maybe when agents parry an attack, it deals a little bit of damage instead of not dealing damage at all. Kind of like blocking in Street Fighter. This could maybe lean into their role as defending the team more, since they would be negating attacks with their shield. But again, wouldn't you just dodge the attack at that point? Again, I'm not a developer, but I hate coming at this conversation without at least trying to bring up some type of solution. Right now, I'm just lost as far as what's going on with this class. There have been times when I've told myself, God, I could really use an anomaly agent, or I wish I had a stunner for this content, or man, I wish I had a support that could help me on this team, but I can't say the same for defense agents. Ultimately, because I don't know what this class as a whole is trying to do in this game. And with Astra Yao out, and Trigger right around the corner with Pulchra, it's made me really wonder about what's going on with the future of these agents. But yeah, I think that's enough yapping out of me. Guys, I'm genuinely concerned about the defense role in Zenless. When I look at the other roles, Anomaly, Attackers, Stunners, Supports, I know what I'm getting. Anomaly is filling up the Anomaly bar, Attackers are dealing crit damage and stun windows, Stunners make those stun windows happen, and Supports provide buffs and debuffs during the battle. So when I look at defense, I just see a class that's trying to be a bit of all of those things and ultimately getting left behind because of it. I know this conversation's way more complicated than I've let on, so this whole thing has me really curious. What do you guys think? How do you feel about the defensive agents we have in the game? Do you like them, hate them, and do you think they'll have a core identity in the future for Zenless? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like down below. It's completely free and lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. Until next time though, happy gaming. Bye. And may your pulls be ever in your favor.